About to get up today.
TVA completely unilaterally and arbitrarily a couple of days ago announced that they're only going to allow people in suits and ties and in business wear to a public meeting of a federal utility to try to bring on this cutting-edge 1960s nuclear reactor. And the reason they did this is clear. They don't want visible dissent. They know that a lot of us in the Valley have followed their nuclear power program and the disaster it's been for decades. And this is the Supreme Court has spoken, and really clearly, I believe it was Corey versus California, where they said that costume is a clear expression of people's First Amendment rights. And for TVA to unilaterally say days before, because they don't like the appearance of discontent with their poor decision making, then no, they didn't allow Ben Franklin into the meeting. They wouldn't allow Santa Claus into the meeting. They wouldn't allow they didn't allow this corporate zombie into the meeting. I noticed the pro-nuclear corporate zombies got in quite handily. And we're here because we're Americans. We have a First Amendment right, and we're exercising that right. And it should be disturbing to anybody that they're starting this decision with, TVA is trying to play scientific roulette with these nuclear power plants. They get to play, we all pay if it goes wrong. But to exclude Americans from testifying, we offered identification, I was polite, I was orderly, I was simply making a statement about what my views are on this plan they have. And they forbid all of us entrance.
Well, some might say if all they wanted was no costumes and you could come in and have your views known, are your views more important or are the costumes more important? Why not, just go ahead and conform so you can have your views known?
Excellent question. But the thing is, these are my views. The costumes, the First Amendment is not just about words, but it's also about actions. It's about costumes. It's the same reason when you see Tea Partyist activists like this gentleman here dressed as patriots. This is a clear expression of our First Amendment rights. What was the Boston Tea Party about? Americans dressing up as Native Americans to get their point across. This is a clear expression of our First Amendment rights, and I refuse to accept a crippled First Amendment right. I don't go to a public meeting with half of my rights intact and allowing a federal utility to sever the other half unilaterally without even consulting anybody. So it doesn't go. I don't accept half of a right.
And then just to follow up on that, to be the final question, then are you worried that your views won't be heard today because of this?
I know there's a lot of good people that will be in there, but the truth is nobody's views are going to be heard today. TVA has made up their mind to go forward with this archaic 1960s nuclear technology. To hell with what people of the Valley think. There's a lot of opposition to what they are doing today. They're ignoring the public. They're listening to the people in the suits and ties from the industry. This nuclear power program really destroyed TVA economically in the 80s and 90s, put them over $28 billion in debt. Yet they're re-embracing this disastrous relationship with this technology that no private utility is touching right now in North America. Which brings up another question. Why wouldn't, whose job is it to evaluate risk professionally in a full-blooded capitalist profession? Insurance companies. No insurance company would insure a nuclear power plant in North America. People whose job it is to evaluate risk for their living said no, absolutely not. Until Congress passed what was called the Price-Anderson Act to limit the liability of these nuclear power plants. And that alone should signal concern to people. That the people whose job it is to evaluate risk said absolutely not, we're not touching this. And especially, these reactors, TVA's reactors have always been plagued with problems. And that's one of the problems they have. People like me and those of us from the Valley, we've partied with the guys who poured the concrete for these facilities. I know some of the engineers that work with those facilities. It's been plagued with problems, almost illegal. They even used to have an 800 number you can call to find out what the problem of the day was. It's no secret to people here in the Valley that we have real reason, given their failed track record of nuclear power, to be very concerned about this. And the fact that they're starting this public meeting by banning members of the public and trying to sever their First Amendment rights should be even more troubling to people that are listening today.
Well, thanks for your thoughts, sir. We're going to head inside now. We appreciate it. With the corporate zombies, right?
Look for brains, but no brains. No brains. No Ben Franklin. No Santa Claus allowed. No First Amendment. No brains. Failed nuclear power. Failed